So my name is Sandeep Talk, and I suffered from limited mental health experience. And to explain to you in a nutshell, I know we're stuck for time, my overall mental health journey. So from July 2012 to April 2014, I started to exercise severely, and various rigorous exercises I got involved in for a good 2 years. And I'm the type that's very determined, and I put my all into it. And it came to the point where the exercising was controlling me rather than me controlling the exercise. I started to compare myself to others, and I felt like I was constantly looking over my shoulder, and it was that pain and anguish of doing exercise, but at the same time knowing that it's going to have positive effects on me. So I started to do rigorous 2 years of exercising, and it just got to the point where it was just controlling me, and I lost a lot of weight, and I was controlling my eating, reduced the intake of calories as well, utilised certain bowls as well that I used to have food in, and I just lost a lot of weight drastically. And my dad, who's over there, just arrived, he noticed that something was wrong with me. He's the one that mentioned to my mum that we really need to get Sandy to see the doctor. It just went way out of control, and someone like me going through it wouldn't know anything different. You know, you're going on your day, doing your routine as usual, doing your exercise as usual, and you don't know, and you can't see anything above and beyond that. I was selfish in that way, where I only thought about myself, my needs, what my requirements are, what are my goals, and exercising was my goal, and I needed to be perfect, looking wise, and yeah, just feel accepted. I felt I was also abnormal as well, so anything I did, it wasn't good enough. I felt like whatever I did, anything, I felt like I was burdened to my family, I was disappointing them, and it just got to the point where I felt I don't belong here. I'm a missing piece of the puzzle here. Why do they need me? Who needs me? Who wants to have me around? You know, I felt like I wasn't loved. But I knew there was obviously family here that loves me. So, Dad realised there was something wrong. So in March 2014, I went to see the doctor with the support of my family. And the doctor referred me for 6 sessions of CBT and prescribed me with antidepressants, fluoxetine, can't pronounce that, Prozac, American, for 5 months. So for 5 months I started the 6 sessions. And with anyone that's gone through therapy, the first session of therapy is such a daunting experience. It's such a simple thing, if you think about it. It's just 4 walls around you, you with a complete stranger, sharing your story. It's such, for me personally, I found it such a challenging experience, because I never got that opportunity or that space to talk about my feelings. Just talking about my feelings, it felt like such a challenge for me personally. So, started to do the therapy sessions and CBT, worked on my negative thoughts that I had around exercising, restriction of food, and I was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, body dysmorphia disorder, OCD, and social anxiety. So it's a mixture of mental health symptoms and problems that I had, and CBT helped with that, mostly more around changing your negative thoughts into positive thoughts. You know, rating your negative thoughts in terms of how impactful it is on you, and statements like I'm not good enough, or I could do this, or X and Y better. Try and changing those perceptions of you into positive thoughts, because I self-criticize myself a lot. You know, and I used to self-judge a lot. So, after the 6 sessions, I went back in August 2014, and I had a chat with the doctor. The doctor referred me on to 40 sessions with the NHS Secondary Psychological Care, that's a mouthful, and the waiting list was for 7 months. 7 months I had to wait. And during that 7 months, on mid-August 2014, I really hit a down point in my life, and I was really depressed. And I remember we were preparing to celebrate my brother's birthday a day before in our temple, in our local temple. And I was preparing for that, and my family called up to my door. They knocked on the door, and they said, let's go. We need to kind of help out, prepare the food, prepare the items. I was like, yeah, okay. But part of me just thought, they don't need me. That thought came back, the not being needed, not feeling loved, not feeling cherished enough or nurtured enough. But you know what, it was all there. I was blinded by it. I didn't see. No, when someone is going through that problem, a mental health problem, they don't see what's around them. They don't see the support network, the family, the friends around them. So I really, really kind of regretted that and not having that connection. So mid-August, I really just felt really depressed and low. A dark cloud came over me, and I just didn't want to leave my room. I was in my pajamas, in my room. I just didn't want to do anything. But then there was a voice in my head saying, you know, you've got to do it. You've got to go out there and help your brother. You know, it's his birthday. You know, it's your sibling, and he needs your help. So I pulled myself together. I was like, okay, Sandeep, you can do this. You can do this. So I made my way to the Gurdwara at the temple, and I just felt like it made me, looking around and, you know, and seeing my family members really involved, having a laugh, joking, cutting vegetables, and then really enjoying themselves. I didn't do anything. I just sat back in the chair, and I just thought, I just didn't fit. I just did not fit. Why do they need me here? That thought came back again. Why do they need me here? I don't need to be here, you know. They don't need me. I'm better off, you know, going and gone and get out of their way. I felt like I was still a burden to them, and I've always felt that, and a disappointment, a huge disappointment. So I tried to commit suicide in the temple toilets. I remember that, in the ladies' washrooms, and yeah, I went into the cubicles, one of the cubicles there, and stood on top of the toilet. I had the headscarf around me, which I tied around my neck, and I put that, and I remember it so well, tie that around there was a light grater at the top of the ceiling in the toilets, and I tied that around the grater there, and I just tried to, with all my might, squeeze basically the life out of me, you know? And at that moment, it was all these voices in my mind, one saying do it, one saying don't do it. There was just an ongoing battle in my mind. It's so hard to describe to you guys today, even 4 or 5 years on. I can't describe it to you how it feels to go through that, and the thought process that goes along with it. But it just felt, I didn't belong. And I remember at that point, someone coming in to the washrooms, and I was like, you know, one side of my mind is saying, you know, who is that? And the other side is saying, no, just ignore them, you're not worthy of this life, go now, sort of thing. It was like, go, you know, bugger off sort of thing. And I heard the voice, and familiar voice, it was my mother's voice. And I recognised her voice, and my mum is a type where she's very, very persistent, very loud. You can hear her from a mile, and she was very persistent on me. She was asking me, Sandeep, you know, where are you? Are you here? Are you here? And obviously I didn't say anything, and she was wondering, you know, she was knocking on every single cubicle, and she got to mine, and she knew that was me in there, and she was knocking severely down that door, like it was no tomorrow. And those few moments felt like years, you know? And I don't know what came over me, but I remember constantly hearing my mum's voice. And for some reason, that voice, that positive voice, and my mother's voice, I tried to then start listening to that. And the more I listened to it, the more I was saying, you know, I don't want to go. I do want to go. I don't want to go. You know, it was hard to describe, and it was just a difficult process, really. And I eventually started to hear her. She was very adamant, and so I got down from the toilet, and I opened the door. And when I opened the door, and she saw me, my mum saw me, and we just burst in tears. We didn't even have to say anything at all. We just cried, really, and really had nothing else to really say, you know. Not straight away, no, we didn't have nothing to say, if I remember, no. So, she took me down, and we just went straight home. Had a discussion with my brother and my dad. We sat down, had a family meeting, and we said we can't wait for the NHS appointment to come, and wait forever. You know, 7 months felt like years. So mid-September 2014, I started private therapy sessions whilst waiting for 6 months, and I started that straight after work, weekly sessions after work on a Wednesday. I used to go there, and that helped me a lot, really so much. And then I got the call in relation to the NHS and starting that in March 2015, and from February 2016 I'd done the 40 sessions and did the private therapy coinciding that, but eventually gave that up because I felt it was challenging to speak to two different therapists, rather just, in my experience, just to help them. So the NHS therapist that I had, he was absolutely amazing. And within 2-3 weeks, kid you not, I stopped doing food diaries, I stopped exercising gradually. The medication, personally, it helped me, along with CBT. I know everybody has their preferences, may not work for others, may work for some. But for me, medication, CBT, and really focusing on my core belief around abnormality, and talking more about safety behaviours, and he used a lot of metaphors as well. So it was, again, challenging those negative statements that you make about yourself and making it a positive one. And yeah, so that helped me a lot, and I really, just within myself, started to see a gradual improvement, and stopped to weigh myself every day, and started to eat right, healthy food and stuff like that. So that really changed my life, and I'm so thankful for that therapist. And they don't get that much recognition, so I really am thankful for his help and support. Then after the 40 sessions, since April 2016, I am now at a better stage where I'm comfortable to now share my story and to help others and get people talking. And it's okay to not be okay. And that's the main thing I want you all to understand, that it's okay to not be okay. And it's good to put your hand up and say, you know what, I'm not feeling okay. And when people ask you, how are you? The simple answer you respond saying, yeah, I'm fine, I'm all right. In my workplace, I'll be like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm all right. I was good at putting a face on. And you just got to be honest with yourself and share your story and talk about it. Because talking is the best way to heal and recover. And it's the best tip ever. So this is I'm just going to share with you some of the paperwork and the activities that I did with my therapist. So on the top left, that's my personal diaries around drawing food items as well. I used to imagine food going in me, keeping track of the weight, the rigid exercise schedule. Then on the right, we've got the NHS therapy notes, private therapy, and the temple, the Gurdwara, where it happened. So fast forward from April 2016, like I said, I'm now at a comfortable stage of helping others. So I'm really involved in charities, mental health organisations, trying to be kind of a mental health activist and get the message out there. And I started to attend mental health events and get networking, like events like these, and really understand what mental health is and be educated around mental health and get the training and help you need to help yourself, people that are suffering, and families and carers and relatives as well. So putting on events like this is my passion, and I also got involved with Rethink Charity, who are exhibiting here. So I sit on the Eastern Regional Committee of Rethink Charity and Time to Change, the London Time to Change champion. And I've also been involved in mental health fundraising activities, so CLASP, 10K walk, skydive with Mind, and doing walks with Mosaic Clubhouse, and trying to get into schools and educational institutions, because I think, in my opinion, that's where the most focus and attention needs to be, is educational institutions. The next generation of individuals, targeting students, even younger than that as well. So I try to do that as well as much as I can, and alongside my mental health, sharing stories and sharing it with my mentees, because I do mentoring as well with my university, so I share my story with those mentees of mine as well. So I do a lot of that, and I attend a monthly body dysmorphia support group at Marylebone to meet like-minded people that have gone through the same situation, that feel your pain in looking at mirrors, in comparing yourself in the social media world. Self-image is important, or deemed important, the ideal of perfect. So that support group helps me. And attending local events and organising stands as well. And mental health events like Happy Heads as well. And talking to other mental health activists internationally. So Kevin Hines is an American mental health activist. His story is, in a nutshell, he tried to commit suicide off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. If anybody's heard of him, he's really an inspiration, himself and Johnny Benjamin. So both of them have similar stories where they tried to attempt suicide from Westminster Bridge and Golden Gate Bridge. So I am keen to build that relationship up with them internationally as well, for Kevin to know how the UK is, how the UK mental health system is here, and how people are coping here around mental health, because the US is slightly different from the UK. And meeting with other like-minded mental health organisations and charities, like Sky Sharma, like all the exhibitors that you see here. I have a really good relationship with them. It's just keeping that network around you, the support network, as much as possible. So I'm going to quickly go through this now. Yes, so in terms of my hobbies, that's the list of them that I'm involved in: charities, travelling, art, museums, music and dancing, joined the choir, which is great. Music therapy is amazing. And I'm going to end it with my balance score. So on the left shows you the pre-April 2016, where you can see where the majority of the focus is going towards, which is exercising. Family, friends, and alone time, I didn't really have that connection, or I felt really oblivious to the fact that I had that support all this time since I was born. I just didn't really kind of tap into that. And on the right-hand side, that is post-April 2016 of how I am now in terms of my balance score. So now I'm getting more involved slowly and gradually with exercising, just power walking or walking around, nothing rigorous, and eating healthily, involved in those hobbies, challenging my energy into mental health organisation, charities and running events. So that's my form of therapy, helping others that are suffering and really get people talking. And I think it with me. But I just want to leave you with one thought from today. Just to look after yourselves, talk to other people, and your voice is powerful, so make sure you use it. And it's so powerful to work and network collaboratively with one another. One person, it's quite difficult to achieve something, but together as an entity, you guys are powerful. So thank you very much.